Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
You know, sometimes
apparently,
wow, you get high and you put on headphones, and then you're trying to figure out why one of your friends doesn't like L7 anymore, but you're playing like super loud sounds and music in their ear, but you're looking at them and you're talking to them like they can hear you, and you're like, I just want to know particularly what's turning people off about the new L7. Like, what is it? What element of that album is making people like not want to hear it?
it doesn't sound
Starting off
good.
hot today.
It doesn't sound good.
It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound like them. It sounds like them pretending to be them, and it's
It's
just,
a personality thing.
it's a multitude of things, and I haven't really checked out the whole. I checked out. They put out a song a few years ago, and I was super excited. They were one of my formative bands, like L7, one of my first alternative bands. Props to my friend Dave Palmisano, who turned me on to Bricks Are Heavy the year it came out, and then I went and they became a thing for me. I really wanted to like it, and I was just bummed, man. I don't know. It sounds. I don't know. It's just.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was. Here's how it was sold to me. The new L7 is fucking garbage. It's not even like they're like even the same band anymore. So that's where I went in listening to it. So when I heard it, I was like, this is not bad.
Sure.
But also I was expecting it to be like that they were going to just sound like a completely different band.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it's.
I can understand if like AC/DC came out with like a song of a bunch of ballads and stuff, it would be off-putting to me, but I would know why it would be that. It would be the juxtaposition. It'd be the wrong kind of song.
Let's take away that doesn't sound like L7. Is it still good music away from L7?
If it wasn't, to me, I'm not a fan like Kelley is. That's why I asked him about it, because like to me, L7 is a band I really liked, but was not like hard into. So I didn't have preconceived notions and expectations about a new album from them being something familiar. So when I listened to it, I hadn't listened to L7 since we watched Serial Mom, probably, for the show.
Good.
It's been a while.
Good L7.
Yeah, but now I want to go back and listen to old stuff again.
I haven't thought about them since I was in high school.
I truly have not.
Well, there you go.
And somewhat college, too.
They live in my brain
they were still together.
free of charge.
Free of charge, rent free, you say?
If you're feeling disoriented, this is Night of the Living podcast. We're talking about horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be talking about a movie called When Evil Lurks when we get to Roulette, but our main attraction, Andy, get your pun.
Who is Winnie the Lurks?
When Evil Lurks.
I know.
Dude, that was brilliant.
Do you understand how long it took me to
Yeah, that's why it was so good.
The opening?
It's because you're so deadpan.
Wow.
Winnie the Lurks.
There you go. I've been doing that with names like nonstop lately.
cool,
I can't stop doing it.
It's great.
Just naming
You'll never
stuff.
stop.
I can't.
I mean, it'll slow me down.
I literally can't.
You're so good at it, I won't know when you're being real or not, and it'll
also
slow me down.
I also know that your hearing is not the best either. So.
Right. Yeah, I could
thought
be
you
just be like, wait,
misheard.
what?
Yeah.
So you're playing into your disability.
I am.
Wait, who's Donna R. Stop? I'm doing the joke, except this time I'm riffing on when Freddy said, "Don't ever stop."
I'm just trying to figure out what you were trying to you were riffing on.
Anyway,
Don't ever
I did
stop.
good too, you guys.
I thought it was good.
I didn't know that he said "Don't ever stop." That's what I was trying to figure out.
yeah.
Oh.
See,
Yeah, I got it. It was good.
It was good.
so I hope that clarifies who we are and what we're doing.
Andy, get your pun, which is genius.
Yeah, it's
well
good.
done, Andy.
It's a play on the movie Annie Get Your Gun.
Wait, what?
I'm just saying, like, it's an old movie, and I've never seen it. I just know it from the title.
My brain just fell right out of my asshole. I was so shocked by that revelation.
Right?
And then it bounced back all the way back up.
Wow.
I pictured it going through your balls to get there.
Yeah, that's how I'm able to speak again, because it came all the way back up the same way.
It hit your scrotum and your scrotum stretched out like a trampoline, and then your brain got to almost to the floor and it snapped back.
If we didn't have headphones on, there would have been an audible twang.
Yeah, and the sound of two wooden clackers.
Very quiet, but you'd heard it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I would say I feel like I need to explain references
To the young.
at a certain age where people are where they've aged out of it.
That's fair.
To the people who are young.
Yes.
To the people who are
titles.
young. Say, hey. What?
Punny Titles Month. We started
punning,
with
sorry.
Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is surprisingly kind of just kept coming up in my life.
Sloths.
We were at this store and they had tobacco water pipes for sale, but it's legal in Ohio, so I can say they were bongs. And we were looking at the wares, and I was like, oh my gosh, a sloth, like Slaughterhouse. And then we figured out there were actually 2 sloths on that
She was looking at sloth,
shelf.
the animal.
The bong had a sloth crawling on it,
Yeah.
the animal, and then also another one had sloth loves chunk.
from the
sloth.
Goonies. And Amy says, do you see that sloth? And I said, yes, I do.
Unintentionally, we were having a moment.
We
We
were
were having
looking.
a little funny bit.
This
We were
was
doing
a bit.
vaudeville.
You guys had an inadvertent bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a pun in and of itself, because sloth means 2 things in this case.
Oh boy.
Sloth from the Goonies. That's what the other thing she saw.
Yeah.
Sloth
Because-
from the Goonies pipe, and sloth from Life.
And then tonight, it's a wonderful knife.
yeah,
I wish it was a wonderful movie.
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
not great.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just me.
No.
This movie, well, we'll get there.
Although it was fun. Yeah, but
It was
we'll get into it.
fine.
I could have. Well, we'll see. We'll
It's
get there.
fine.
We'll get there.
So anyway,
Patrons, thank you so much. We couldn't do it without you.
Patreon.com/NOTLP.
Well, we could, but we wouldn't have any mics, and we wouldn't be on the internet, and it
Yeah.
would just be us in
Be
this
us
room.
talking.
We would be more present with each other, though.
It's true.
What were you
Less
gonna say?
performative.
No less
Because
performance.
we're phonies. You don't know us.
You're big fat phony.
Did we break the fourth wall? Did the veil come down and
It's shattered.
the wizard was exposed?
But we couldn't do it without you, patrons. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Origins will be coming a little bit later this week.
Yeah, I forgot it,
It's okay.
but I am going to do it.
Occasionally that happens.
Human.
It's the holiday season. It's everybody's rushing here and
Tis.
rushing there.
Yeah.
I'm not Russian.
Oh.
I'm an American. I'm an American.
Yeah.
If you're an American in the living room, who are you in the bathroom?
Political.
European. So Origins is where we go back and record an intro to an episode from a long, long time ago. 2012.
Yeah. Oh boy.
And then we got Topicana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't thought of a question either, because I completely also forgot that. Was
Well,
part
that's
of
okay. We don't do that till later in the
Yeah,
week.
I don't
anyway.
think I'm my
You
question
don't have
until
to tease.
Thursday.
it. Yeah.
We record on Friday.
It's totally okay. And that's where we ask each other questions. and
It'll
we
have
talk.
something to do with something that I want to hear you talk about.
Wow. Wow.
Anyway,
Owen Wilson impersonations.
that's what happens there.
That's what it's going to be.
Just going to be a solid 30 minutes.
Give me your best. I'll open it up to celebrities, but I'm hoping you're going to come with Owen Wilson.
Well, I can't do I can't do anything beyond wow.
That's why it's open to all celebrities. Pick your best. And
Who was it? Was it
I got nobody.
Melissa
You'll have
Villasenor
somebody.
does the best Owen Wilson.
Yep.
Treat yourself to Melissa Villasenor's Owen Wilson.
I will.
If you have the means.
Do I have the motive? Do I have the opportunity?
You do.
Oh.
Anything else that you wanted to bring up here at the top, Amy?
Oh, we got all kinds of things going on.
We got a Who Day.
We got a
Who
Sports
Day?
Corner is back, y'all.
Temporary, the fair weather fan
We're not
corner.
fair weather. We're
You are the very definition of
No, we just acknowledge it
I was
more
devastated.
when they do it
Yeah.
when they do better.
I am admittedly
I was
a fair weather
devastated.
fan, and I will look any hardcore fan in the face
Yeah.
in any skyline
Yeah.
chili in this city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll say, it ain't fun when they ain't winning.
No, it's not.
So if I feel like there's a chance they'll win, they don't have to have won the last game necessarily, but like I have to feel like there's a good chance.
Yeah.
And then I have enough of a stake.
I don't
care that much.
I don't mean to criticize by saying fair weather fan. It's just
I know you don't.
It is the thing. You like to watch when they're winning.
No, I like to watch when I don't think the sky is falling every time.
Right. Yeah. You mean like as in bad weather? Like
just in case anybody's wondering, we're Bengals fans here because we live in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also
I have an orange and black cup.
You got an orange and black cup.
That's not because of the Bengals.
Yeah, that's how much of a fan he is.
So
I love Halloween too.
His drinkware is Bengals themed.
Our little darling Andy went to the game, and we were discussing with him that he thought it was a quick turnaround from Friday to a Sunday game to get his costume together for the game.
I didn't have to.
Who has to get a costume together?
Andy.
Silly people like me.
You went as a little Bengals
It's
elf.
like I didn't have to wear a costume.
It looked
but
great.
It did look great.
It's just something in me. Like other people are having just as much fun as I am.
Yeah, man.
But it's something about me that I just can't go to places regular like.
Well, that's a
regular
place to do that.
You're
That's,
enthusiastic.
That's where you're. That's where if you're a
Exactly.
costume person,
I
you wear
was
your costume.
one of the least silly people there.
Yeah, man.
Andy,
It was just funny because he's like, and then I had to figure out about my costume.
though you inspired me a little bit because when we started playing D&D again, I was looking at like wizards robes and shit to wear to the game night, like because I was like wanted to be fucking
swear to God,
as enthusiastic
you
as you.
Our money on a wizard robe.
Oh no way! I did not. I did not.
Well, any robe can be a wizard's robe.
This is true,
Yeah.
Freddy.
I have multiple robes. Robes my favorite kind of thing to wear.
You can be
Robes
like,
Pierre.
I'm a sleepy
That's what we'll
wizard.
call you from now on.
Robes Peter, because it's always open.
But yes, I had to. I was invited to the game by our friends Nate and Jessica. Thank you, Nate and Jessica. On Friday.
Yes.
And then the game's on Sunday. So like, oh shit, I need to get my
The
ass in
countdown
gear.
is on.
So as soon as they
adorable.
asked me, I was like, what am I gonna wear?
Nice.
And I had my game plan, and
they won.
And yeah,
of you.
so I think I brought
Yeah.
I dressed like an elf, and I think I brought some Christmas.
You
magic.
fucking showed up for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know?
brought the magic.
You brought the magic.
and it was cold too.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I would not have gone in a million years. I'd be like, you want me to do what? In a where?
Oh my goodness.
No, I appreciate it, but like that I was invited, and I was grateful that I went. But I don't know how people go to every single game.
Yeah.
It's a sometimes thing for me.
Well, I don't know how you go to every single game, or you go to Steeler. You go to like division rival games because that's some brutal shit. I don't know. I guess it's where you get your
Yeah.
angries out.
So we get it out.
Well, I'm wondering, like, now, do you like revel in the underdog nature? Amy, you've become a bigger football fan than I ever was.
I love the like. Look what's happening right now with the Bengals. Like, people are going to be so mad that we were talking about this, but it's like a storytelling thing. It's still like a soap opera thing. It's certainly what's happened this season with the Bengals, the ups and the fucking downs, man. And the fact that we're still in the hunt, in the hunt.
It's not just the Bengals, like the whole NFL.
The whole NFL feels oddly
And
You know
like,
what you are.
Yeah.
And like in any drama,
You got your villains.
we have our villains and heroes, and the villains this week are the Chiefs.
Oh,
Fuck
yeah.
you, Chiefs.
villains most winger of the fucking chick.
I just want
right.
to get it out. Patrick Mahomes, you're a little bitch.
That
You've
was,
always
Come
had
here and
been.
fight me, bitch.
You always have been. You always will be. And
Well, at
this
least-
just confirmed that you're the biggest bitch.
At
get
least
the
we
last
know he
word,
changed his underwear because remember he wouldn't change it during a winning streak.
And you stink too.
So at least we know his
Literally.
butthole is a little less disgusting.
We'll be right back.
He's
The
a
rest of the
Why?
show because you're
Stinky
gonna run out of
bitch.
time. I'm just kidding.
Okay, you can do guitar riffs, but we
He's
can't
not
talk about
done.
football.
we don't know that just because he changed his
Ma-
underwear that his
it's
butthole's any better.
Mahomes.
You're right.
I don't want to hear about Mahomes.
He still could be
anymore.
like not wiping.
We don't know. He could be anti-wiping. He could be putting
'cause
extra
they're
doo-doo
lucky?
up there.
See, that's how.
That's what you're saying.
Well, yeah. When one team gets all the luck, you get
Yeah.
mad at them.
Yeah.
Plus, our fucking colors are way cooler, and we're not racist in our name.
In our name only.
And our players don't have annoying wives.
Right? I mean, I don't know.
We don't know any of their wives.
Yeah, they could all be awful.
The Real Housewives of the Cincinnati Bengals.
The way I would salivate over that,
I bet you would.
you have no idea.
But
I
they
do.
would,
I know exactly.
I'm currently
I have the idea.
a twirl with 3 active Real Housewives franchise on the air right now. Do you know how hard it is to keep up with Salt Lake City, Beverly Hills, and fucking Potomac
I can't imagine.
at one time?
How do you tell them apart, honestly? Because
Oh,
it's the same stories and they all look alike.
Oh, what?
They do have different flavors, and I've only seen
Yeah,
bits and
anyway.
pieces. Like, they feel kind of like the different Star Treks in a way.
Yeah.
You know? Where I'm like, this one's more of like an all-white cast. And this
Well, that's
one's...
most of them.
And this one is literally all white interior houses, and then this one is all windows, and like that one over there is a lot of tequila, and then this one's not as much tequila.
Are you thinking about Vita Tequila, Lisa Barlow's brand? If anybody's listening that knows what I'm talking about, you're cool and don't ever change.
How many of these ladies have
Alcohol brands? All of them.
We all got alcohol brands.
How many have singles like songs?
Although the THC is starting to creep in, so there's bound to be like a housewife THC product on the market here any day now.
Skinny girl
Skinny
weed.
gal weed.
It's gonna go weed.
They seem like more like
Fuck
cocaine
Bethany.
people to me.
Oh, for
Almost to a
sure.
Yeah.
All right,
All right. All right.
we'll be
Okay.
right back.
Oh yeah.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight to video Russian roulette.
Sorry I tried to rush you away from your football talk,
And my Real Housewives talk.
Real Housewives talk,
Can you
but
believe him?
this
On
movie...
this horror podcast, he's trying to make us
I
stop
know.
Yeah,
talking.
he jumped in, going on off on L7.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then I wanted to rein it back in, I know.
He's weird that way.
I'm fickle,
All right.
but I was very excited about this movie. I wanted to talk about it,
Winnie for Lurks.
and I'm going to try to keep it brief as I can.
Brief.
But this, has anybody else seen this? Have you seen it, Andy?
I wanted to because people were buzzing about it, but I'm lazy,
Ah, okay.
so I didn't watch it.
What's it called?
It's called When Evil Lurks.
Right.
It's the director of Terrified, not
Winnie
Terrifier.
for Lurks.
When Evil Lurks.
When Evil Lurks. When Eva.
Fire is a 2016
What?
American slasher film written, co-produced, and directed by Damien Leone.
What is that?
Freddie just was replaced by AI.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird.
The director of the reason she did that is
Yes.
because I said the director of Terrified did this. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Now, what was Terrified? Is that like a known horror movie?
Yeah, we did it for Hispanic Heritage Month, didn't we? Years ago, maybe.
Remember the
Or no?
dead kid at the table that like had come out of his grave?
I literally do not remember that. At
I
all.
He
didn't
was like
watch
black.
You know what? Maybe we didn't do it for the show.
Oh, it's fucking great.
Now that
Terrified is a really good movie. It's is it Mexican or Spanish?
Argentinian.
Argentina.
Yeah.
I thought it was either European or South American or Mexican. But yeah, fucking great. So good.
It is.
So be
really,
looking
really
out for a
scary.
dead kid.
The main the main like detective guy in there is kind of hot.
Yeah. Terrified is like Poltergeist, but like
Scary.
mixed with almost like old world horror, like almost like it's this woman's in that movie, it's like this woman's dead kid comes home.
Yeah.
And it's really like a blue corpse at the dining room table.
Yeah.
Not even moving.
It's fucking great. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Like that movie has this one is even better. When Evil Lurks is like the first demonic possession movie I've seen since God, I mean, maybe this is better than since maybe The Demons might be the last movie I was this enthusiastically like behind, but this is tonally, this is like bleak. It's not at all that wacky kind of thing, but in its excess it is, because the scenarios are so outsized that for me it wasn't, I was worried about watching it because I thought it was going to be a kind of more like a sad downer of a movie. And yes, horrible shit happens in this movie throughout. It is a lot of ugliness, but it is so beautifully gory and over the top, and it feels like there's like a mythical level of evil involved that makes it feel so big that you're like, I'm okay with some of these more gruesome moments in it because it serves the art of this almost like Bram Stoker's Dracula level of like spectacle, but in a small Argentinian town where there's in the suburbs and on a farm, but it feels like a really big old Hollywood movie in a lot of ways.
See, I can take like bleak stuff when it's not grounded.
Yeah,
when it's like have like demons in it or like supernatural stuff. I know that's not
does help.
necessarily real, so I can separate it from like real, like more realistic things.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I think, what helped me too with this, because everybody, you know, I saw people describing this as brutal, you know, and like, but to me, this is right up there. If you're a fan of Ari Aster, like this for me is right up there with Hereditary. It's that good. It's really that good, and it's these two brothers who they work on this ranch, and one of their neighbors is possessed by this demon, and he looks like Pearl from Blade 2, I think. Remember the big giant, or Baron Harkonnen would be another.
Baron
comparison?
Harkonnen. Yeah, he's one of those creatures.
Yeah, he's just this big bloated man in this bedroom, in this back bedroom, and they've shown up, and they're like they're clearly already in a world where everyone maybe at least suspects the supernatural is real, but some people know for certain it is, and they've been living with it for a while. So they call these things rotters, which really it's someone who is possessed by a demon, and they will eventually give birth to the young version of the demon. You've seen it in a bunch of other horror movies, but this is really the best that's ever been done, this concept. And and the brothers have to make a choice because there's these rules, and I'll tell you, there's 7 rules. It's a lot like Gremlins in that there's these rules.
There's a lot more rules to this, though.
I'm only going to tell you the first 6 because the 7th rule is, you know, left mysterious for you for a reason. The first rule is no.
Is giving these rules is going to spoil the movie? Because okay,
nope. The first 6 rules are: there's no electric lights. This will only build anticipation for the movie. This I would have liked to have known these right from go because it's exciting. 2 is don't stay close to animals because demons sometimes can control animals easier than people because their minds are simpler. Don't have to take anything that was close to them. So if you have to run from one, you're not supposed to like take their clothes or stuff that touched them for a long time. Don't hurt them. You can't. That's the other thing. You can't just kill them because that actually always makes things worse. Somehow, that's so.
Well, you know, if you strike down a Jedi Master,
that's right. Never name the evil by its actual name. So, like, you know, as we would whenever we think our Beelzebubs, that would be a no-no in this world. You wouldn't want to speak their names. And 6 is don't shoot them with firearms because in technology in general, there's something that kind of pisses them off about that, makes things worse.
Are they Amish?
Kind of. But there's all these traditional like horror tropes, but they turn it real. Like it feels like if you got to go back and experience the story of Dracula as a villager.
Yeah.
Is what this movie feels like to me. Like it's the equivalent of like boots on the ground where
you're embedded.
You're kind of embedded in a real honest to goodness supernatural scenario, and it does not let up until the very end. Now 30 minutes into the movie it's a little more than that maybe. There's the first holy shit moment.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, that was I gasped, like audibly gasped at it. And then there's 2 more of those moments later in the movie where you're just like, wow, this was the best horror movie I've seen all year, easy.
Damn.
Very
wow.
John Carpenter, remind me a
It's
lot
okay,
of Prince
Andy.
of Darkness.
You can kick my feet. I don't care.
You're
You're not hurting
farting
me.
or something?
No, I kicked something I didn't know was Amy.
He just touched my foot, and he was so worried about it. And I'm like, it's all right.
So, yeah, like there's artifacts in it and stuff. Like you know, there's things in the movie that
Sounds
are
awesome.
That are very great juxtapositions because otherwise it feels just like suburbia or this farmland. You know, it feels very familiar, and real. But then there's these moments where you're like, wow, this feels like a world where maybe you almost feel like you could walk out of this movie and be like, is that stuff real? Is that happening somewhere? You know, like it's like so big, but also it's so dramatic and it's kind of like so grand that it's almost like I was saying, it is very grim and violent, and the worst things happen in this movie that you can imagine, but it's done in such a way that it's just a joy. Even when horrible shit's happening, I was smiling half the time because it was just so good.
I love
You're a
smiling.
psychopath.
It's fantastic. It's just so magical. It's a magical movie. Anyways, I think that's pretty much all I want to say about it, other than to say this is
I mean, that's glowing.
it's the most recommend of any Roulette movie I've ever watched.
Yeah. Like you compared it to Hereditary.
Yeah, and Prince of Darkness. It's got moments in there that are very John Carpenter-esque without just being a dark room.
Yeah.
It's the composition of shots. Like there's moments in this that are this director's own look that are so starkly different than any of his influences, that are his own look that I recognize from Terrified. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, wow, it just blows me away just when you think all the greatest talents are kind of out there already and working. This guy's just, he's technically 3 movies deep and 2 of them are like critically acclaimed because they're so good.
I think that qualifies as balls deep.
It's balls deep, man.
I would say.
It's balls deep. So what's next, Amy?
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, the next movie is to be found in a place.
Oh, and Esther. I think Esther originally recommended this movie, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, Esther.
The one I watched.
It's a Shudder. It's called The Sacrifice Game.
Oh, I love that game.
It's your favorite game. All right, guys, we can do this. Everyone at the Black Veil School for Girls has gone home for the holidays except for students Clara and Samantha and their teacher, Miss Tanner. When a gang of cult killers arrives at the school, intent on summoning a demonic force, the girls must fight to survive the night, but the demon has other plans for everyone involved.
What other kind of force would you try to summon?
I don't know.
Did the girls' iPhone calendar let them know there was a conflict on the calendar with the demon's other plans?
Yeah.
That's good. Who's going to watch?
Nobody's ever summoning angels in these movies. That'd be a cool horror movie.
That's funny you should say that, considering our main attraction.
Hey, it's me.
Oh, yeah, right.
Back in the saddle again.
That forgettable attraction.
You forgot we were talking about our next movie.
That sounds good, Aim. I love a cult movie.
Actually, I'm kind of into this. I love like a boarding school setting or like a isolated setting with like lots of people.
It's another demon movie. Are demons having their moment right now?
Like a big building.
Maybe.
Isolated big buildings are interesting to me.
Yeah.
I had to get it out correctly.
Isolated big buildings are interesting to me.
It's a good little melody.
Little jam. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back after this.
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction.
All right, this week's main attraction is It's a Wonderful Knife.
That's the best part of the movie.
It's a good title.
Yeah.
For a movie that is basically an It's a Wonderful Life retelling in a horror way,
Yeah.
it is also just Scream.
It is so Scream, in fact, that the character looks just like Drew Barrymore as
think that
Casey.
was on purpose.
Well, no, that's what I
She
mean.
doesn't
Like it's
die. It's like lady.
You know what my thought continued to be throughout this entire movie, and like here's the thing, and my quick take is that like this wasn't even bad. Like the acting was fine.
No,
like,
it was bad.
Sorry. I mean, it was okay. It was like a Hallmark movie.
Let me get. I know what you mean. Like
I'll give my opinions after you give this one.
But there, I mean, it was well crafted. But like today, because this was a movie I had to watch. Like I realize I'm just so over clever. I'm so over like this is our take on. I'm so over tropes. I'm so over tropes and the self-aware use of tropes and like, hey, did you get that reference? Did you get this reference? I'm tired. I'm so tired of that. This movie was nothing but that.
See, I didn't get any of that at all. I just saw hey, let's have a title. and they just try to wrap a movie around it, and that they didn't think anything else beyond that.
They sort of followed the like. He gets upset because it seems like nobody gives a fuck. He's about to kill himself. He stopped from killing himself, but it's because he wished he was never born, and then he finds out what it's like, and it's terrible. And then at the end, in this movie, it turns out our girl was the Clarence, which I don't think you can just be a Clarence. He was an angel.
Yeah.
Well, they lead you to believe that it's Weirdo. Weirdo is my favorite part of the movie. Who is the bullied kid who, in the first version of her world, she's not friends with, but Weirdo is really obsessed with her. But in the parallel world where nobody knows who she is because she got George Bailey'd, she is her lifeline, and I thought that part of it worked. But
yeah, I liked that.
Yeah, it was okay.
But the movie was just dull around.
A lot of it was unearned.
Yeah.
And forced.
Yeah. Oh,
all the
forced.
sentimentality and emotions, like even like with the Weirdo character.
Yeah.
It just came out of nowhere. Oh, so you guys are like lovers now.
Yeah, it was rushed, but I mean, like, I like the concept, but the execution was fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't like this movie either.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
I took some notes.
But it was a fun time if you're really desperate.
One of the notes I took was about Justin Long. Our Scream King was in it.
Yeah. He was good. I like what he was doing.
The teeth and the way they make him talk. They put like giant buck teeth on him, and then he talks like it's terrible, and I hate it.
Well, I hate it, but I thought it was good. Like I liked.
Well, I guess you were supposed to hate him. He was supposed to be a hateable character.
Yeah,
I was going for that old timey acting style. Like
It didn't fit.
Like yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he was going for like It's a Wonderful Lifestyle, like old fashioned, like super exaggerated, but. First, as a silly movie it was at odds with everybody else.
Yeah.
Was it? I don't know. He worked for me weirdly because he was genuinely creepy. Nothing felt genuine about this to me at all, which is fine. Like sometimes that's fine. That's what you want. And if this was like a Christmas party where I knew like, hey, we're going to sit down and watch this goofy Christmas movie that's a take on It's a Wonderful Life, but it's also Scream, but it's also like any other fairy tale movie. It's also Happy Death Day to me. It's also Groundhog Day. It's also all of these things. I'd be like, okay. And maybe if I was super high and I was with a bunch of people, I would not have been like, ugh, when is this going to be over? But
I felt the same way, and I'm pretty forgiving of these kinds of movies usually, but it was. What's that? Is that me?
You just won.
Oh, sorry about that. That's
call in.
That's my phone telling me to take medicine, so it's not supposed to make noise when I'm in Do Not Disturb, but
well,
you might hear it again. I apologize.
Motherfuck.
So, what I was gonna say, let's see, it's just gonna keep bugging me for a minute. Was that where was I? I was saying, okay, we got from Justin Long to, we just watched Hallmark movie. We watched.
Yeah. I, on a whim, just threw one on because I got to watch one or two in the holiday season, and I watched Christmas Festival of Ice.
And it felt like when we left Christmas Festival of Ice, which is about a woman who is an ice sculptor, and all of a sudden, is there an
ice sculpting competition coming up?
There's a competition.
So she grew up, her and her dad competed in that competition every year. Ice sculpting is like her passion, and she finds out they canceled it one year. And she can't fathom that this concept that not everybody gives a fuck about this ice sculpting contest because it's everything to her. And then she goes to the mayor and she's like, come on. And he's like, if you can raise $15,000, we can have the ice sculpting contest. And I'm like, how the fuck is the ice sculpting contest that expensive when the festival is already happening and it's just a place?
I don't know. Ice prices have gone up
You
exponentially.
You got to pay.
They got the ice donated.
There's insurance. You have to pay event insurance.
It's the ice sculpting.
Here's the issue, right? We
watched that. And
what was it called again?
Christmas Festival of Ice.
Christmas Festival of
Wonderful Ice.
Public work.
Yeah.
It was like a perfect crossfade into It's a Wonderful Knife. It didn't feel like we changed the channel.
Yeah.
Like it still had that
Except for all the
fucking
blood.
Well, here's the thing, like
amateurish kind of presentation.
I think so much of that they were trying to make it look deliberate. Like
I think they were trying to make it one of those, but they couldn't commit.
That's what I mean. Totally.
There's lack of commitment to any one idea in this movie.
Agreed.
Justin Long is doing his thing with the fake teeth and the overacting, but no one else is. the killer is is this angel motif. Yet that character has no connection to angels, but maybe both of our leads are angels. We don't know.
Angel Falls.
Angel Falls is the town, but the whole.
I don't know why I'm trying to defend this movie.
Right.
Yeah, that sort of
at least Hallmark movies know exactly what they are.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be something else. This movie doesn't know what it is.
It doesn't. It tried to be a lot of things and nothing.
Totally all over the place.
Yeah.
There had like these forced sentimental moments, and then you had these wacky moments.
Yeah.
And then you just had really dumb characters.
You know who's good at that sort of thing? Joel McHale, who was in this movie.
He was sleepwalking through this
Yeah,
whole
he
thing.
was asleep.
Well,
It's not like he was given much to do.
I don't think Joel McHale's cared about acting in years.
You leave Joel McHale alone.
But like the
He's
first
checking.
like
He's
first
like
20 minutes,
cashing
it was
checks.
totally different than the rest of the movie. I was excited watching the first part.
I was into it
And
for
then
a minute. Yeah.
the switch happened, and that's when it went just downhill for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember how we were talking about how every female protagonist is a journalism major or a journalist?
Yeah.
Watching this reminded me that every girl in the 90s, because they were so. This was a 90s inspired movie.
This was super 90s.
Had just the elaborate or old camera.
Yeah.
And they were always photographers, and that's what their passion was. And they always somebody had one.
Yeah.
And that's what our main lady does. And I was like, okay, cool. Then I thought, oh, Jack Frost is the killer.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, it's Moon Knight.
Yep. It is.
Did anybody else think Moon Knight?
No, but I get it because it's
all white.
By the way, we should say it's not an angel. Like if you're thinking of an angel, it's a Christmas angel. It's like an ornament angel with arms and legs.
It's a good way to describe
So
it.
just put that. There's no facial
They
features.
should have a biblically
smooth-
accurate angel.
Well, did you see the trivia that this was one of the original Scream costume designs that they just used for this movie?
Oh well, there you go. One more.
They didn't use it because it was less
Like
scary.
serious.
They
should
really
tell you
can't.
something.
They can't stop copying.
Yeah. Well, that was totally borrowed from the way it's written in IMDb trivia.
Literally.
Here's a note that I don't remember why. I just put Uncle Buck in quotes. Does anybody remember?
Well, because the guy's name is Uncle Buck, and then
Yeah.
Uncle Buck is a
Oh,
movie.
Buck, the shitty brother.
Yeah.
That was. All right. So I wrote, it's not just a clever title because It's Wonderful Lifing almost immediately, right?
Yeah.
No, well, you get pretty far in
Well,
before any
all
of that
right,
shit
20
happens.
minutes or so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we go into where nobody knows her.
Yeah.
The effect of this child, high school student, never existing, is devastating to the town of Angel Falls.
It almost feels like the whole world is going to collapse because she didn't exist.
Well, that's kind of how they make it, and again, tonally, it's so weird. Is like if this is like that. Stop trying to be any kind of grounded. This is another. It's another trope I don't like. The fairy tale that's like real. Like I can't.
Like what they should have done, I think, is in the version where she did exist. They should have really leaned harder into the whole angle of it being a Hallmark world.
Yeah.
Very utopian.
Yeah, and then
agreed.
It needed more contrast.
Yeah.
There was a lack of commitment on the contrast between her world and theirs. It should have been hilariously different.
Yes,
Well,
I agree.
mean, the fact that her friends who in her real world were just like smoking weed and doing edibles, and now in the world where she never existed, they are smoking crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crack.
Like that was funny. That was one point, and what I'm saying,
weird,
like, they should
too.
have done harder. Like they should have had like, it reminded me a lot of Back to the Future Part 2, but not in good ways. But like in that, when he comes back and he finds that Biff is running the casino and everything. It had even that moment where she sees the town and she goes to the house and someone
trope.
Yeah, the tropes, but they're those are really like specifically Back to the Future kind of things. You know, those moments of showing up at the house and there being a black person there and you're a white person.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, this must be the wrong house.
Yeah.
And there's the city skyline. Oh God. And I see a corporate logo I don't recognize because a corporation sprang up because I was never born.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
She was the only thing standing between all of these people in this town and just despair.
And and just the town just letting a killer just continue
Keep
to
going.
murder
I did kind
everyone.
of like that they just accepted that as part of their life.
It turned out he was controlling their brains at the end of the movie.
But that
never
was
revealed
really
that.
that was weird. Like
Yeah.
the fact that they were like hypnotized at the end.
Yeah, green eyes.
It didn't
out of
make
nowhere.
sense.
Glowing green eyes.
That's the thing, and I get like they're like wait till we drop this twist on them. That's you can't wait that long to Shyamalan. Like you have to
sham a little at first.
You got to telegraph a little bit of
little
something,
bit.
or make it tonally like that kind of thing.
Although to be fair, Shyamalan's series Servant did a lot of these same that you saying that reminded me of it. They did a lot of these last minute pull the rug out from under you moments that were not foreshadowed.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny because it's him doing it.
Right.
It's kind of like, oh, you're allowed to do it because you're constantly doing that anyway.
And you apparently won't stop.
Yeah, and you're not going to stop. It's like, you got a dog that really likes to hump the toy in the corner, and you're like, you might as well just let him keep doing it. It's cute.
Even after we all are like, it's okay, we don't need you to make a twist. He's like, I'm going to make another twist.
I'm going to do it. And so then next thing you know, boom, a great one. And then he goes back to humping the teddy bear.
For like
I was
6 or
just
7.
confused. Like, if he's hypnotizing these people, he has control over them all the time. Why is he still killing them? And why did the murders still going on?
Well, he originally so in the real world,
This movie's a mess.
she killed the killer, and it was Justin Long's character, this like big time businessman, because he was killing people to get them out of the way for his big
I
development.
get that.
So then in the Sliders world, where sliders, we went sliding into this new world, he stopped killing then, or because he killed Joel McHale's kid.
This would have been just an okay episode of Sliders.
Her
even
brother. He killed that kid to keep him in line in some way, right?
I don't remember.
Control
like
Joel McHale, and then that got Joel McHale to then start doing the killing for the last year. So really, that guy did that. Did any of that make sense?
No, because there's still no reason.
Now that I'm saying it out loud, what?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's a very much like a child's short story.
Yeah.
And also for a movie
That's
called
right.
It's a Wonderful Knife.
And then my dad, he got made into the guy that got a killers. And then the killer was like, you now are the killer, good guy. And then my dad was a bad guy. But then, and then they came and they made my dad a good guy again.
I think if I thought of it as that, it would have been adorable. If it was like an axe cop situation.
Well, like I said, like for a movie called It's a Wonderful Knife, a knife should have been a bigger part of it.
Well,
At
he
least-
did have that angel wing dagger.
And they threw it on the
But, like,
post credit just to remind you.
He killed people in many ways.
Well, that's true.
But whenever you think of Slaughterhouse, at least the sloth was a big part of the movie.
Sloth was the main part of the movie.
Slaughterhouse doesn't look so bad now, huh, guys?
Oh, I like
shit.
Slaughterhouse
I did
actually,
too.
but then this
was
movie,
really
like,
fun.
you need more than a pun movie.
It's so bad.
I feel like if you took the few sloth parts from Slaughterhouse and like 5 or 6 like good moments from this, you have like the first third of a movie.
Well, the writer actually is not a bad. At least I didn't think they were a bad writer. They wrote Freaky. Is that what that was?
That was a fun one.
It was
Is
fun.
that the body swap movie?
Yeah.
But again,
it shows
tropey.
that direction
Well, that,
matters.
that
tropey.
movie knows what world it's in.
And it's a different director.
Yeah, and it's a totally wacky world. Well, this movie tried to do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point, they're in that theater, and as they're going in the first time, there's "I Know What You Did Last Christmas"
Yeah.
on the marquee. That was funny. A little funny, but like totally screaming, "Hello, we are doing the 90s."
Yes.
Like,
oh, yes.
yeah,
They
it's-
couldn't stop.
They couldn't stop. I wrote here,
Can't stop, won't stop.
Catherine Isabel playing an aunt makes me feel ancient. Like she's like the older aunt, like
She's
the
boozy.
cool lesbian aunt. And I'm like, oh my God.
Her life actually got better in the other world.
Oh yeah. Her life was a little better.
Because like in the real world, it seemed like she was kind of like an alcoholic and messy.
Yeah.
But the Sliders world, she was kind of like put together and keeping the family sane.
Man, I want sliders now.
You got to say sliders.
So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it turns out it's our protagonist is really the Clarence, and then Weirdo is
It's George Bailey.
George Bailey. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, who made our protagonist have to kill her father in this alternate universe just to help this other dork out? That's rough stuff.
Yeah.
Am I thinking too hard about that?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
And that weirdo character even bothered me. Like, you're being bullied and they're having drinks thrown on you, but you're still hanging out with these people.
Oh, the town's that small.
That's all she can do.
Yeah. That's exactly the problem.
Well, yeah, it's only got a population of like 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird that there was enough money even in that little tiny town to justify the things the mayor was trying to do.
I know.
Because, like, it's like 3 blocks. They showed aerial shots of it several times, and it looks more like a shopping complex.
It's not even a neighborhood.
Yeah. I didn't like this movie.
No.
No, at first you guys are, I didn't think it was that
I
bad.
know the more I think about it, the more I hate it.
Well, again, like I said, under a certain set of circumstances, it might have been tolerable.
Right, yeah.
But like I did not like it. Like I continuously bitched about it. Colin watched part of it with me, and he just kept talking about how stupid it was.
Pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Freddie, like a couple of weeks before, he told me like Andy can convince you to really hate a movie.
Yeah.
When he gives you an opinion on it.
Yeah, you can.
Did I just do that to you
No,
again?
this time you didn't Inception me. You've done it before, but this time I didn't like it to begin with, so it was a much shorter
But
trip.
you didn't say you hated it. And now
Well, no, I do. It's, you know what it is it's because I know the people who made it are capable of so much more, and
Freddie's disappointed in
I'm
me.
more disappointed than
Not angry.
Not angry at you. I'm
Disappointed.
disappointed.
In all seriousness, yeah, I think that like this writer's already a proven writer. He made, I feel like this is a case of what else have you got, and then how much less can we make that for? That's how it felt.
Yeah, and I was just really disappointed in Justin Long because normally he's a go-to guy.
Yeah.
Like as the sound of like.
I mean, they had to
Good
have seen
performances
Freaky and Vince Vaughn and been like, all right, this guy can do something.
Proof of concept.
Joel McHale.
Well, again, maybe it's more of a directorial situation, because I mean they're probably more responsible for the tone than anything, and that really was like, I mean, there were definitely story problems, but like, who knows how the script started? So
Yeah. Also, sometimes an absurd story problem can be solved by going more absurd with the way you present the movie.
Agreed. Sometimes it has to be that way,
or even just point it out in the script. It's sometimes fun. Like it's hack. It's considered hack, but also it's like a cornerstone of comedy. To be like, oh, so we're doing this. Why are we doing this? But this movie was just like, it was really like somebody just beat it up really bad and then told it to run a mile.
Give it a swirly.
Give it a swirly. It was staggering along, and then they're also like throwing things in its path to make it even more difficult for the audience.
Then they push it down a hill like Daniel San from
and they set it on fire.
Christmas horror movies are plentiful. I'd say it's a really great setting. I get what you were trying to do.
You know what? Gremlins
I'm not a big Gremlins fan.
did all the best riffing on It's a Wonderful Life already.
Yeah, because it riffs on Gremlins too.
Yeah.
It's just that's good. Just Gremlins, man. That's good stuff.
Yeah, Gremlins is awesome.
It's great stuff. They did it for Flashback Cinema. I missed it.
How do they riff on Gremlins in this?
The whole fucking movie is a riff on Gremlins.
Well, which it's mostly the parts Gremlins was already riffing off of It's a Wonderful Life, but like it's just funny to like, it's like somebody stepping up to be like, I'm gonna sing "I Will Always Love You" in the style of Whitney Houston, or something like. You're like, no, you're not. You're not gonna. You're gonna try to. You're gonna try to sing "I Will Always Love You" in the style of Whitney Houston, but you're gonna sing it not as good. It's guaranteed. So why are you going after It's a Wonderful Life and Gremlins when you know
And Scream?
And Scream, which you're like, I can cobble these things together and make a pastiche, but am I saying anything new or making anything
It's
better?
ballsy to reference better movies in your movie.
I don't know that it was trying to say anything
ballsy.
new.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I mean, I really think the whole point of it was just to give people familiar shit.
Yeah.
It's just a cobbled together morass of better done concepts from a vast array of movies.
It feels like, when they made The Blob and they came in and they said, we're making The Blob because space alien movies and teenager movies are big right now. We're going to put them together.
Yeah.
But they made something great because they turned it into something really original and cool.
Yeah.
But they also didn't have a lot of things prior to that, so they were pioneers.
It was pretty easy to come up with something.
This feels like somebody said, I want to cross a Hallmark movie and a slasher, but I don't want to compromise on the Hallmark tone or quality.
You had to go one way or the other, though. They got to commit to like one tone,
right?
Like if they want like a slasher with a Hallmark movie, but committed to the Hallmark tone,
agreed.
Right,
it would have worked. But
I
when
still probably wouldn't have liked it, but it would have not been.
It would have made more sense.
Right.
But when you try to like have it both ways,
well, I'm
like
not
this
saying
movie
that's
did.
necessarily what they did, but that's what it felt like watching.
Yeah,
because we were coming off of freshly off of a Hallmark Channel.
Yeah,
movie
we
too.
reeked of it.
Yeah, so I think that
We
influenced
didn't
my.
sniff any coffee beans before we went in to the next movie.
No,
You know,
that's your mistake right there.
I mentioned this to you earlier, Freddy Morris, but I was like, honestly, the plot of Thanksgiving, I cannot remember. Loved it, had a great time. Couldn't tell you what happened, but I can tell you about some detailed kills because it sticks in my mind.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's all I needed. It's a wonderful knife. If I hadn't taken notes,
Like a good plot is an extra, like icing on the cake. But like you watch slasher for like the fun kills.
In the presentation of the difference too is you watch Thanksgiving. I can remember what that store scene looked like.
yeah, I can
could
see it
recreate
because it
moments
was
from it.
interesting and
It was
new
memorable.
and different and memorable. And like, It's a Wonderful Knife will leave my brain.
Right.
And that Thanksgiving wasn't
Immediately.
lazy. This was just lazy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like I need every movie to like stick in my craw for a while and I can't fish it out even if I got them good flossers with the pick on the end.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like this one was a little too.
Is that what a craw is?
Your
What is a
mouth.
craw?
Your-
I didn't know
craw.
that.
It's
I
craw.
just thought it was a phrase.
I think it's because it's a
stuck in your
bird.
craw.
It's a
like
reference.
beak, like a
too.
beak.
Okay.
It's a metaphor. It's a simile. It's a
The more
analogy.
you know.
Is it a pun?
Is it a pun?
You can make it a pun.
I don't think so.
Anyway,
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We are doing we're continuing with Christmas next week because it's Christmas time.
Another pun. Another holiday movie.
Violent Night, which kind of rhymes with Silent Night.
Get it?
I think this one's going to be fun. Have you seen this already?
No.
Oh, cool.
I haven't seen it yet.
I always
David
ask Andy
Harbour.
because Andy has
Is that-
movie pass. He sees movies.
Is that what this one is? David Harbour?
David Harbour.
Yeah.
Beefy Daddy.
Sexy David Harbour.
It's already recommend for me.
I'm going to fucking dock my boat in the David Harbour.
I can't believe you guys are objectifying that man.
David Harbour has
And he's-
got it going
And he's
on.
in a Santa suit.
I mean,
Damn.
give me that lap.
What was it, Family Guy? I think we were watching where David Harbour showed up and was like, so this is, they asked him, why does it always look like you woke up in a dumpster somewhere?
Oh. That's just Stranger Things, David Harbour.
Yeah.
Alone. All right, kids. At the end of every show, we say hi to our Beelzebubs. Oh yeah. Patreon.com/NOTLP if that's something you want to be. Oh, yeah. Alise.
Yo, what up? I can't wait to see you soon.
Alyssa. Branan and Emily. Jeffel. Iona Goodwin.
That was a great one.
Dr. Brian. Old Dirty Bill Stirred. Bill Farner. Frosted Blakes. Blayne Yogurt. Jordash Jeans. Paul. Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora. Sorry what we did to the Colts, guys. That was just mean.
Oof.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Ernie. Dave Siebert. Monica and Dustin.
You guys are the best.
Really
The
are.
tits
Love
and a
you.
half.
I think
Yeah.
You guys are wonderful, unlike the movie.
I think everybody has their shirts.
Shirts are
I
out
think.
to our patrons.
Elise didn't get one yet.
She hasn't. Oh, good.
But she
I
might
guess
not have given her size suit because you have to give your size, I think.
at a certain point.
Yeah.
So she's going to get a random size.
You must give your size.
But I should double check.
Yeah, it's worth
Can't have
looking. I'm
any
curious to see.
pudding.
I've seen one. I think it was Bill posted it. Yeah, cool. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great design.
Thank you. It is.
Make sure you pre-order Kelly's book.
Oh yes, that's
yeah, where's
thank
that?
you. It's on it's on our social media. It's if you look up Velox Books, VELOX, is the publisher, and it's on their social media. It's on my personal Facebook page and Instagram. It's wherever I am.
Kelley and OTLP most places.
It's
Or
easy
Kelley
peasy.
Kombrinck. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.